Hello, this video is a short overview of projects on iNaturalist. We'll be looking at the differences between collection and umbrella projects. This video is targeted towards teachers who are setting up a bioblitz project for their class or their school. To get started, let's go up to Community, and in the drop-down menu, click on Projects. This brings us to the main project page for iNaturalist, and I wanted you to take a look at the description of projects. Projects let you pool your observations with other people. In other words, projects are a way to curate the data that were collected around an event, at a certain time, in a specific location, or by a specific group of people. Usually, actually, it's some combination of all of the above. It makes it easy to find your data in one place, and that's important because data is like your children or your ideas. Your own are the most interesting. Let's take a look at some projects that I've created that will help us make sense of collection versus umbrella. I went to my icon. You do have to have an account and be logged in to set up a project. And actually you need 50 observations. And in that drop-down menu, I clicked on projects, and that brought me to my project page. This features all the projects that I'm affiliated with, either as an admin or a contributor. So I'd like to start by looking at this collection project of the 2018 Badlands National Park Educator Fieldwork. I set this project up as part of a professional development that I lead. In 2018, I brought a group of educators to Badlands National Park, and our work included making observations to contribute to iNaturalist. I'm going to click on Edit Project so you can see a little bit of the background. Observation requirements. Just as a refresher, observation requirements are how you tell iNaturalist to go find the data that you want to put into your project. I did not filter by taxa, and I'll show you an example of a taxa filtered project in a moment. I did filter by place. I told iNaturalist I want data from Badlands National Park. Now, a word about places. iNaturalist has two kinds of places, standard and community curated. Standard places are created by iNaturalist curators. So it includes things like continents and national parks, and in the US at least, counties. Community created places are basically everything else. And if your schoolyard, if your local park does not already have a community created place created by someone else, you will have to create it. And we'll walk through that in a different video. I've also filtered by users. This is a list of the teachers who participated in the professional development. I filtered by users because Badlands National Park is a big place and a lot of people are contributing data from there, which is great, but I wanted the teachers' data for this project. I also filtered by date range. So being this specific will help me get the exact data that I want. Let's go back up to my project page. And we're going to look at this collection project, which is the 2019 version. I set up another collection project for this year's field work. We'll look at the secret sauce here. And the observation requirements, somewhat similar, no taxa, the same place. Users, but a different list because it's this year's educators. And of course, this year's dates. So I have two collection projects, and as I do this professional development, I will set up a collection project for each one of those opportunities. However, I want past and future participants to be able to see all the data that has been collected in this professional development opportunity. So I created an umbrella project. This is the umbrella project, Badlands National Park Educator Fieldwork. Did not put a date to it. Let's look at the back end so you can see what the observation requirements are for this. The observation requirements are much different. Because this is an umbrella project, what iNaturalist needs to know are the names of the collection projects that are going to be pulled into this umbrella project. So we have the 2018, we have the 2019. Next year I'll create a 2020. Let's go ahead and look at what an umbrella project looks like. Unlike the collection project, where the landing page has the most recent observations, the landing page for a umbrella project has this leaderboard where it shows you what the different projects are and how much data has been collected by each one. The counts at the top are aggregate, so 53 observations over 2 projects. Same for the species identifiers and observers. This stat button, which you'll find on collection projects as well, is an interesting way to look at data. Okay, let me show you some other projects I've put together. Let's go down to this one, the arthropods of Badlands National Park. And yes, I really do love Badlands National Park. As you might guess, this is the taxa filtered project. When we go down to our observation requirements, I've filtered by arthropods and by place. This is a collection project, by the way. You can tell because of the observation requirements. I have not filtered by users because I want all the data. I'm not interested in specific people's data. I want all the data, all the arthropod data. For the same reason, I have not filtered by any sort of date. I have not added this collection project to my umbrella project, so it does not show up in my National Park, Badlands National Park fieldwork umbrella project. For this project here, I only want the teacher fieldwork project, the collection projects. Okay, another example of collection and umbrella projects, filtered in a slightly different way. 2017, I was a Grosvenor Teacher Fellow, and National Geographic and Lindblad Expeditions sent me to Svalbard, Greenland, and Iceland. I made a point to make observations. So to set up this project, I did not filter by taxa. I didn't filter by place, although I could have if I wanted to. But the easier way to do it was just to filter by me. I was interested in my observations that I made during these dates. I knew I would not be making any other observations during this date range, so it's just easier to filter by me and by the dates. Go back to projects. Interestingly enough, the Grosvenor Teacher Fellows have an umbrella project. So every Grosvenor Teacher Fellow who sets up a collection project, it can be added to this umbrella project. So you can see there are observations from Antarctica, Greenland, Galapagos, 2017 Svalbard, 2018 Svalbard, Iceland, and Greenland. It's a good way to get our minds around the data. So this was sort of a fast and furious overview of the differences between collection and umbrella projects and how you might filter them for different results. If you have a tip or a trick, or you have a question, please let me know. Happy exploring!